Welcome, guys. Welcome. Good morning, everybody. Good morning to all the people who have tuned into my channel. Those of you who are new and have just been tuning in to my channel in the mornings, I want to say welcome to you. Thank you so much for having stopped by. Now, it is Tuesday. Yeah, no, I haven't been here in a few days. That's all right. Sometimes you got to take a break. No matter how good something is, sometimes you got to take a break. Okay? So, welcome into the live, guys. Thank you so much for stopping by. I sincerely appreciate you all. This morning is no different from the other mornings that we spend time together. We are going to be doing what we do. And for those of you who are just coming, let me just bring you up to speed with what we do here on my channel each morning. So every morning, just about, not every morning, because sometimes I work the night shift, and so this time of the morning is a no. But each morning we gather here just about this time for one purpose and one purpose only. We gather here to read the good book. Now, before I go any further, I do not endorse any particular religion or denomination when I come here on my channel. What I am about at this time is to feed this curiosity of mine in reading the Bible from beginning to end. Because all my life I have been socialized and indoctrinated into believing that the Bible had such paramount importance to the way I live my life and the way I'm supposed to ascribe to living my life. But I don't think it was ever fully explained to me. I believe, you know, it was handed to me through generations because you see, on both sides of my parents have they have been associated with a particular religion and a particular denomination all their lives. So they never knew better. My great grandparents handed it down to my grandparents, who handed it down to my parents, who handed it down to me. And so I just decided, you know what? I got to read this book for myself. I got to read it from beginning to end. I think that is my responsibility. If I am going to be talking about this book, and for sure if I'm going to hand hand down what I've been taught to my children, I need to know what I'm handing down to my children. And for me, I think that is only fair. And so I decided that I'm going to be reading this book for myself from beginning to end. It's a pity I just started to talk it, but I've been tubing it for about 2 years. Yeah, about 2 years. Yeah, that's how long it has taken me. Reading every day, just about a chapter or two. It has taken me 2 years, and I'm still not even yet done with the Old Testament. Can you believe it? Yeah, it is true. So here we are, onto the book of Micah. If you all don't know where to find the book of Micah, take your time and go around from the book of Daniel. You can follow along with me in your book Bible, your Google Bible, whichever one you have. And you're going to go around from Daniel, Hosea, Joel, all the way around there. You're gonna see um what's that drowning the man in the belly of the ship, the belly of the whale, Jonah. And you take your time. These chapters around here, these books rather, are very short. So some of them has only a chapter or two. So you will slide past it very quickly if you don't go page by page. When you get around to Obadiah, you go Amos, Obadiah, Jonah, Micah. All right. We are going to be reading chapters 4 through 7 this morning. And guys, don't forget, I am not here to convince anybody either way about their religion or their denomination. Please understand that this right here is my journey. Okay? So you're gonna hear me when I have my fumbles, when I have my stumbles, when I have my blank moments, when I am totally lost. And you will also hear me when I have a eureka moment, when I go, aha, now that makes sense. It's not with any intent to convince anybody here one way or the other. Everybody is free to read what they want to read, believe what they want to believe, and do what they want to do. I am just, because me presumptuous, yeah, I am reading the Bible. I am taking my journey to the broad streets. Yeah. Fumbles or not, I'm taking it to the broad streets so everybody can hear. Because I know many of you don't like to read, 98.9% of the people who claim to know the Bible and will be quick to convert and condemn you based on the Bible have never read the book for themselves. And I find that those very people get upset when I say the Bible is a Jewish book written from a Jewish perspective. Every single author of every single book in the Bible is a Jew. And people want to come at me and tell me I'm crazy. Like, really? I am crazy? I am crazy. I know I ain't crazy by a long shot. But I won't argue with you if you say so, if you believe so. I'll just leave you alone. You do what you want because I am not here preaching and I'm not trying to preach and I'm not trying to convince anybody one way or the other. All right. So if you are here with me this morning, roll along. If you want to get your Bible, your book Bible, your Google Bible, whichever one, come along with me as we read the book of Micah, Micah chapters 4 through 7. Let me see who's in the chat before I start. Let's see who is here. Okay, the cube. Let's see. Tamika is here. Oh my God, I can hardly see. Why did I put that background? Dorothy. Yeah, with that background, I can hardly see the faces, the names of the people. But I see Dorothy and Revitam and somebody else I see there. But anyway, worry not thyself. Let us begin the reading. Micah chapter 4. But in the last days it shall come to pass that the mountain of the house of the Lord shall be established in the top of the mountains, and it shall be exalted above the hills. The people shall flow unto it. Verse 2. And many nations shall come and say, Come, and let us go up to the mountains of the Lord, and to the house of the God of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and he will walk, and we will walk in his paths. For the law shall go forth of Zion, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. And he shall judge among many people, and rebuke strong nations afar off. And they shall bear their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up a sword against nation, neither shall they learn war any more, but they shall sit every man under his vine and under his fig tree, and none shall make them afraid. For the mouth of the Lord of hosts hath spoken it. I guess we are still wishing for that day, right? We are still hoping and praying that day will come, right? Because boy, I tell you, I could live in a world like that. I could live in a world where I don't have to worry that another human being is going to take a weapon and slay another. Hello, Tanisha, how are you? I could live in a world where I don't have to worry that if I'm walking down the street, I might get hit by a stray bullet, or somebody might deliberately hit me with a bullet. I could live in a world where I don't have to turn on the open the internet and see another murder. I could live in that world, trust me. And if it means living in that world without a Bible, I could live in that world. I could survive in that world. Because in these days, every time you open the internet, the very first thing to greet you is somebody taking somebody else's life. That is a little bit scary. Not a little bit, but a lot scary to me. You never open the internet and find good news, just only good news. The good news is usually overshadowed by the bad news. But anyway, just like Micah is waiting for this day, we are waiting for this day as well. So let us continue. Verse 5. And we are, for those of you just coming, we're on to the book of Micah, Micah chapter 4, verse 5. For all people will walk, everyone in the name of his God. In the name of his God. And we will walk in the name of the Lord our God forever and ever. Okay, so everybody worshiping their own God. Verse 6. In that day, saith the Lord, will I assemble her that halteth, and I will gather her that is driven out, and her that I have afflicted. Verse 7. And I will make her that halted a remnant, and her that was cast far off, a strong nation. And the Lord shall reign over them in Mount Zion from henceforth, even forever. And thou, O tower of the flock, the stronghold of the daughter of Zion, unto thee shall it come, even the first dominion. The kingdom shall come to the daughter of Jerusalem. Now, why dost thou cry out aloud? Is there no king in thee? Is there Is thy counselor perished? For pangs have taken thee as a woman in travail. Hey, Rodney, how you doing? Felix? Be in pain and labor to bring forth, O daughter of Zion, like a woman in travail. For now shalt thou go forth out of the city, and thou shalt dwell in the field, and thou shalt go even to Babylon. There shalt thou be delivered. There the Lord shall redeem thee from the hand of thine enemies. Now also many nations are gathered against thee, that say, let her be defiled, and let our eye look upon Zion. But they know not the thoughts of the Lord, neither understand they his counsel. For he shall gather them as the sheaves into the floor. Verse 13, and this is the last verse of Bridges of chapter 4. It says, arise and thresh, O daughter of Zion, for I will make thine horn iron, and I will make thy hooves brass, and thou shalt beat in pieces many people, and I will consecrate their gain unto the Lord, and their substance unto the Lord of the whole earth. Hi, Silma, Sean. Morning, guys. How is everybody doing this Tuesday morning? We are here again, trying to read this good book here from beginning to end. That is our sole purpose here this morning and every morning that we gather here. So welcome, guys. Thank you all for coming. I appreciate you. We are moving on to the book of Micah, chapter 5. Micah chapter 5 says, Now gather thyself in troops, O daughter of troops. He hath laid sledge against us. They shall smite the judge of Israel with a rod upon the cheek. But thou, Bethlehem, Ephrathah, though thou be little among the thousands of Judah, yet out of thee shall he come forth unto me, that is to be ruler in Israel, whose goings forth have been from of old, from everlasting. Therefore will he give them up until the time that she which travaileth hath brought forth. And when the Bible talks about she that travaileth, it means like it's a figurative speech of a woman who is in labor. When it says until she has brought forth, means she has given birth. That means her agony is over. Verse 3 of chapter 5 says, Therefore will he give them up, and the time that she which travaileth hath brought forth. Then the remnant of his brethren shall return unto the children of Israel. And he shall stand and feed in the strength of the Lord, in the majesty of the name of the Lord his God, and they shall abide. For now shall he be great unto the ends of the earth. Verse 5. And this man shall be the peace when the Assyrian shall come into our land, And when he shall tread in our palaces, then shall we raise against him 7 shepherds and 8 principal men, and they shall waste the land of Assyria with the sword. And you know what that means? When they say they shall waste the land with the sword, that means by the sword they shall fall all the people and turn that land into a wasteland. And they shall waste the land of Assyria with the sword, and the land of Nimrod in the entrances thereof. Thus shall he deliver us from the Assyrian, when he cometh into our land, and when he treadeth within our borders. And the remnant of Jacob shall be in the midst. Verse 8. And the remnant of Jacob shall be among the Gentiles. Hold on there, gentle people. Hold on there, gentle people. Let's read verse 6 again. And they shall waste the land of Assyria with the sword, and the land of Nimrod in the entrances thereof. Thus shall be delivered, thus shall he deliver us from the Assyrian, when he cometh into our land, and when he treadeth within our borders. And the remnant of Jacob shall be in the midst of many people, as a dew from the Lord, as the showers upon the grass, that tarrieth not for man, nor waits for the Son of men. And the remnant of Jacob shall be among the Gentiles in the midst of many people, as a lion among the beasts of the forest, as a young lion among the flocks of sheep, who, if he go through, both treadeth down, and teareth in pieces, and none can deliver. Now, Micah, uh, um, to me, is having great desires for the return of the Jews to Israel, to reestablish Israel. Because, by this time that Micah is documenting his feelings, the children of Israel have already been displaced. Babylon has already destroyed Israel, taken some of the people captive, slain many of the people, destroyed the temples, taken all the wealth, all those prized possession that were in the temple, the gold and the silver and the brass and everything that was in the temple and that were in the palaces that belonged to Israel. Babylon had already taken. So when he talks about the remnants of his people, that's what he's talking about. The very few Jews who had survived the slaughter and are now living in different countries all over the region. They are quiet because they are few. They know that they are being persecuted. They know that if they try to revive their culture or revive Israel, they know what they're up against. So that's what he's talking about when he talks about the remnants of his people. Let us continue. We are on to, for those of you who are just coming, we are on to the book of Micah, chapter 5 and verse 9. Thine hand shall be lifted up upon thine adversaries, and all thine enemies shall be cut off. Now, don't forget, this is Micah's dream for the Jews. Okay? And it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord, that I will cut off thy horses out of the midst of thee, and I will destroy thy chariots. When I destroy your horse and your chariot, you will have problems getting to the war zone, because that was their means of transportation. And I will cut off the cities of thy land, and throw down all thy strongholds. And I will cut off witchcrafts out of thine hand, and thou shalt have no more soothsayers. Thy graven image, thy graven images also will I cut off, and thy standing images out of the midst of thee, and thou shalt no more worship the work of thine hands. And I will pluck up thy groves out of the midst of thee. So will I destroy thy cities, and I will execute vengeance in anger and fury upon the heathen, such as they have not heard. Now here is Micah wishing and dreaming and hoping for the resurrection of his people. And with that, he is speaking aloud what he is hoping to happen to the people who were oppressing his people, the Jewish people. Will these expectations, I don't so much know that they are prophecies, but they are, to me, desires of a desperate man. So, just like you could sit here and say, you know, I just wish that, Jamaica, for example, where there's a lot going on, I could sit here and wish and dream and hope that the mothers of all the young men who are creating mayhem in my country, I could wish something could happen to the mothers, like their houses could fall down with these bad guys in it, or I could wish that everybody who is using a gun illegally in my country could lose possession of that weapon, or the police could catch them, put them in jail. I could stay here and wish and wish and wish and wish and dream and dream and dream and dream and hope and hope and hope and hope and hope. That's what poor Micah is going through, and he's not alone. Can you imagine that everybody else is going through that? When you look and you see that your people have been displaced, the country that you knew is no longer there. Just the plot of earth is there. These enemies have come up. They have destroyed your temples. They have destroyed your culture. They have slain your people. They have displaced your people. You are now like a man without a home. So all kinds of thoughts are going to come to you for the enemy. It's only reasonable. There's nothing that has to do with any being. Yeah, I said any being or any energy that's going to come and reestablish that for you. You are going to have to reestablish that for yourself. But how are they going to reestablish Israel? How are they going to, when all the other countries around, they are either laughing, they are mocking, they are having fun, they are delighted to see the destruction of Israel. So where are they going to get the help that they need to reestablish their country? That's a challenge. With the few people who are left, that's a challenge. The people who would love to reestablish Israel, they are afraid. So right there, fear becomes another challenge for them. And because there are so few of them that are left, the numbers, it's challenging because they don't have enough people. And furthermore, some of the people have already decided that, you know what, to save my life and my family's life, I am no longer, even if they reestablish Israel, me not go back up there. I'm not going back up there because we are set targets for everybody around us. So let me just stay down here so I'm going to worship that little stone here. Let me go and worship that little piece of stick here because I'm not going back up to Israel. So you see, the challenge was there all around. So Micah, like the other people who had such great desire for the reestablishment of Israel, they had challenges beyond measure that was facing them. But we're gonna move right along into Micah chapter 6. Welcome to those of you who are just coming into the live. Thank you so much for stopping by. I sincerely, and Sodama, I sincerely appreciate you all, guys. We are on to the book of Micah. We're going to be reading chapters. This morning's reading is chapters 4 through 7, but now we're going to start reading chapter 6. All right? So come along with me. Let's go. Hear ye now what the Lord saith. Arise, contend thou before the mountains, and let the hills hear thy voice. Hear ye, O mountains, the Lord's controversy, and ye strong foundations of the earth. For the Lord hath a controversy with his people, and he will plead with Israel. O my people, what have I done unto thee? And wherein have I wearied thee? Testify against me. For I brought thee up out of the land of Egypt, and redeemed thee out of the house of servants. And I sent before thee Moses, Aaron, and Miriam. O my people, remember now what Balak king of Moab consulted, and what Balaam the son of Beor answered him from Shittim unto Gilgal, that he may know the righteousness of the Lord. Verse 6. Wherewith shall I come before the Lord, and bow myself before the high God? Shall I come before him with burnt offerings, with calves of a year old? Will the Lord be pleased with thousands of rams, or with 10,000s of rivers of oil? Shall I give my firstborn for my transgression, the fruit of my body for the sin of my soul? He hath showed thee, O man, what is good, and what doth the Lord require of thee, but to do justly, and to love mercy, and to walk humbly with thy Lord? The Lord's voice crieth unto the city, and the man of wisdom shall see thy name. Hear ye the rod, and who hath appointed it? Are there yet the treasures of wickedness in the house of the wicked, and the scant measure that is abominable? Shall I count them pure with the wicked balances, and with the bag of deceitful weights? For the rich men thereof are full of violence, and the inhabitants thereof have spoken lies, and their tongue is deceitful in their mouths. Therefore also will I make thee sick in smiting thee, in making thee desolate because of thy sins. Thou shalt eat, but not be satisfied. And thy casting down shall be in the midst of thee, and thou shalt take hold, but shalt not deliver. And that which thou deliverest will I give up to the sword. Thou shalt sow, but thou shalt not reap. Thou shalt tread the olives, but thou shalt not anoint thee with oil, and sweet wine, but shalt not drink wine. Verse 16, and this is the last verse of Micah chapter 6. For the statutes of Omri are kept, and all the works of the house of Ahab, and he walked in their counsels, that I should make thee a desolation, and the inhabitants thereof a hissing. Therefore he shall bear the reproach of my people. There ends the reading of Micah chapter 6. Welcome into the live, everybody. Thank you all for coming. I sincerely appreciate everybody on the live this morning. We are currently reading the book of Micah. We are on to Micah chapter 7. And actually, chapter 7 is the last chapter in the book of Micah. Boy, guys, we got a little ways to go before we finish reading this Bible. But guess what? We ain't in no hurry, because we're gonna read it and we're gonna start over and reading it again and reading it again and reading it again and again and again. All right, let us move right along. Rock and Anthony, let us move right along into chapter 7. Woe is me, for I am as when they have gathered the summer fruits, as the great gleanings of the vintage. There is no cluster to eat. My soul desired the first ripe fruit. The good man, the good man is perished out of the earth, and there is none upright among men. They all lie in wait for blood. They hunt every man his brother with a net, that they may do evil with both hands earnestly. The prince asks, and the judge asks for a reward, and the great man, he uttereth his mischievous desire, so they wrap it up. The best of them is as a briar. The most upright is sharper than a thorn edge. The day of thy watchmen and thy visitation is come. Now shall be their perplexity. Trust ye not in a friend. This is the book of Micah, chapter 7 and verse 5. Trust ye not in a friend. Put ye not confidence in a guide. Keep the doors of thy mouth from her that lieth in thy bosom. For the son dishonoureth the father. The daughter riseth up against her mother. The daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. A man's enemies are the men of his own house. Wanna hear that? Let me read this again for you, gentle people. Let's read it again. Micah chapter 7. We're going to read again from verse 5. Trust ye not in a friend. Put ye not confidence in a guide. Keep the doors of thy mouth from her that lieth in thy bosom. For the son dishonoureth the father, The daughter riseth up against her mother, the daughter in law against her mother in law. A man's enemies are the men of his own house. Therefore, I will look unto the Lord. I will wait for the God of my salvation. My God will hear me. Rejoice not against me, O mine enemy. When I fall, I shall rise. When I sit in darkness, the Lord shall be a light unto me. I will bear the indignation of the Lord, because I have sinned against him, until he plead my cause and execute judgment for me. He will bring me forth to the light, and I shall behold his righteousness. Then she that is mine enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her which said unto me, Where is the Lord thy God? Mine eyes shall behold her. Now shall she be trodden down as the mare of the streets. In the day that thy walls are to be built, in that day shall the decree be far removed. In that day also he shall come even to thee from Assyria, and from the fortified cities, and from the fortress even to the river, and from sea to sea, and from mountain to mountain. Verse 13. Notwithstanding the land shall be desolate because of them that dwell therein, for the fruit of their doings. Verse 14. Feed thy people with thy rod, the flock of thine heritage, which dwell solitarily in the wood, in the midst of Carmel. Let them feed in Bashan and Gilead, and in the days as in the days of old. According to the days of thy coming out of the land of Egypt, will I show unto him marvelous things. The nations shall see and be confounded at all their might. They shall lay their hand upon their mouth, their ears shall be deaf. They shall lick the dust like a serpent. They shall move out of their holes like worms of the earth. They shall be afraid of the God of the Lord our God, and shall fear because of thee. Who is a God like unto thee, that pardons iniquity, and passeth by the transgression of the remnant of his heritage? He retains not his anger forever, because he delights in mercy. He will turn again. He will have compassion upon us. He will subdue our iniquities, and thou wilt cast all their sins into the depths of the sea. Thou wilt perform the truth to Jacob, and the mercy to Abraham, which thou hast sworn unto our fathers from the days of old. Here ends the reading of Micah chapter 7. For those of you who are just coming, those of you who are just joining the live, I sincerely appreciate you. Thank you so much for stopping by as we read the book of Micah, the last few chapters of the book of Micah. In my quest to read the Bible from beginning to end. Now, I am no theologian. I am just a person as ordinary as you, trying to investigate, this book that has been given to me as my moral guide. Well, what we just read today is really Micah documenting his desires for his people. That's Micah speaking. He's a one of those minor prophets, and he is speaking out aloud in terms of his documentation of his thoughts, what he wishes for his people. My darling, my dear sister Emanji, you know how much I love you, my love. Thank you so much for stopping by. Shanae, Gabar, Kevin, James, rest of yourselves. Thank you so much for stopping by, my darling. I sincerely, sincerely appreciate you. I hope you're having a great Tuesday morning. And everybody else who is here, I hope you all are having a great Tuesday morning as you spend the earlier parts of your morning with me as I read the Bible. Thank you, my dear sister G. I appreciate you, my love. We are just finishing up the reading. We just finished the reading of the book of Micah. So that's where we ended the reading today. When we come back tomorrow morning, we are going to be reading the book of Nahum tomorrow. Nahum was another of the minor prophets, another prophet. There were so many prophets. There were so many prophets back then. No wonder the people were so confused. The people don't know whether they're going or they're coming because there were so many prophets, so many people claiming to be prophets and claiming to be able to predict the future and tell the people what was going to and what was not going to happen. But many of these people who were claiming to be prophets were just talking off their heads. They were not being directed. They were not being directed by any God, by any supreme being. No, it was just their thoughts. Yeah, it was just their thoughts, and they were saying it, documenting it. Yeah. If you read if you read as much as I've been reading this book, you will understand that all these prophets could not be true, could not be right, because if they were all right, then there would be more chaos going on in the world and in their world that was happening back then. Or no wonder there was so much chaos, right? Because everybody thought they were right. From long, long time. Ah! Oh, Sister Emma G, I tell you, from way back when you first started, huh? Oh yes, we started this a long time ago, Sister Emma G. It's been now. I think this year is going to make 3 years since we started the reading of the Bible. I think, but we haven't stopped. We haven't stopped, my dear sister. We have been diligent at this one to make sure that we get all the way to the revelation. And when you know that when I'm done this, Sister M&G, I'm going to start over. Yeah, I'm going to start over because you can't possibly, even though I jot some things down, you can't possibly remember everything that you read in the Bible. And you can't just the Bible is not one of those books that you can't just read one time and then say, you know what? I've read it already. I read it one time and that's it. No, you have to revisit it. You have to go back and read it. And trust me, each time you go back, you might end up getting another eureka moment. You know, you read something now and you think you understand it one way, and you go back to read it a week later and you understand it in a different way. So it does make sense to read the Bible more than once. Yes, Sister M and G. So before I was talking to you, I said something. Somebody says water seeds ministry. I don't know what that means. Good Wolf, what's up? I'm not sure what that means. Water seed ministry? I don't know. But whatever it means, I don't know if you are tagging somebody, calling somebody, or something. I'm not sure. But whatever the case is, welcome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for stopping by. So when we come back tomorrow, guys, we will move on to the book of Nahum. We'll be reading the book of Nahum tomorrow. Another of the minor prophets who who had great desires for the reestablishment of Israel and was also writing his thoughts, his desires, his wishes for Israel. He wishes for God to come and prove himself and destroy Nineveh, destroy Babylon, destroy Edom, destroy all the countries around that were oppressing the Jews, all the countries that were diligent in their effort to ensure that Israel was destroyed and the Jews were never able to reestablish their community and their society. He, all these prophets, that was the one thing that they had in common. Yeah, the one thing they had in common was their desire to have Israel, to see Israel be reestablished, and their people, the Jewish people, being able to live and worship as they so see fit. But that was not the desire of the other countries around, the Syrians, the Babylonians, the Egyptians, and everybody else around them. That was not their desire because for some reason they saw the children of Israel as a threat to the stability in the region. They saw them as when they come up, they are too powerful, they have too much authority, they have too much power, and they did not want them there. And because everybody else was worshiping their little god they made out of stone, their little god they made out of wood, their little god that they made out of something. But the Jews were worshiping an unseen being, you know, for some reason that seemed to, I don't know if I should use the word scare, but I'm going to use it. That seemed to scare the people around them. And so for that, they were punished time and time again. And then because the people around them were always successful in punishing them, destroying them, displacing them, they felt as though, well, since we are so successful in doing all of this to them, their God must not exist. Their God must not have favor in them. Their God must not like them. Because if their God liked them, he wouldn't allow us to destroy them as much as we are doing. I guess that would have been the sentiment around there. The amazing MNG said, thank you so much for reading the Bible scriptures and explaining it to us. I appreciate it. You are so welcome. Hold on, Sister Winsome. Winsome, it's 13 minutes after 5. Oh, you're doing, Sister Winsome? You come in when you want, where you was yesterday. Winsome, you remember that I work Sunday night? I work Sunday night, so when I got off work, 8:30, yeah, I'm not gonna go read. I'm not, I don't read that late. When I read that late, trust me, my head tired, my brain tired. I don't feel like I accomplish much. I don't feel like I am there when I read that late, when I'm tired. Yeah. So you know by now, Sister Winsome. that me not come read them time there. 9 o'clock in the morning, no sir. No sir, that's another time when me I read the Bible. Me I read the Bible first thing in the morning when me wake up. When me been up since like 1:30, but me did I support my friend. I was supporting a friend of mine on his live from 1:30 till 4 o'clock. So when 4 o'clock came, I hopped off of his live to come to do. You can't, but when some my shift are the same, My shift is the same. My shift has been the same. So I don't understand how you say you can't keep up. What I think I might have to do is start. You want me to? I'll post the readings. I think I'll start doing that. You go volunteer for help me. Volunteer to help me, and I'll post the readings when we're going to read and when we're not going to. Because when I get off of work in the morning, I'm definitely not doing no Bible reading. I'll do a chit chat. I'll get on and we can chat about what's going on in the news and, any experience I had that I wanted to share with you or stuff like that. But definitely not the reading of the Bible. I'll come on for 8:30, 9 o'clock and then come on to read. But that time I'm tired, I want to sleep. The only thing I can do on the internet at that time, Sister Winsome, is sit down upon somebody live and chat with them. I can't even keep my own life. I know some I go drop asleep. I sincerely appreciate you, Sister M&G. I appreciate you. I haven't trolled the streets of the tube since I woke up, but I'm going. I chew win some. I chew win some. That not right. That not nice. That not right. You're right. You are so right, Sister Winsome. Yeah, true. Me know so no know when me a come. And no know when me a come and no know when me not come. And that is and said that not come from any deliberate attempt to hide from you all. It didn't come from no deliberate attempt. It's just because me me cat boy Winsome you stump me this morning. Winsome, you drape me up this morning, man. Me I go shape up my follow ground. I go shape up my follow ground, Winsome. And since you are here this Tuesday morning, all right, Winsome, tomorrow morning, me reading the book of Nahum. Me not reading anything Thursday morning. I'm not reading anything Friday morning because I'm going to work Wednesday night. I'm going to work Thursday night. So Thursday morning is out of it, and Friday morning is out of it. Saturday morning, we're going to read the book of Habakkuk. Sunday morning, we are going to read the book of Zephaniah. Monday morning, we're going to read the book of Haggai. I'm going to put up the schedule. Winsome, as soon as I get off the live in 2 minutes, before I do anything else, I am going to put up the schedule. I'm going to put a post on the tube, putting up the schedule so that you and others can know. Me know so other people probably are saying, when me I look for Trev, me not see her, with the Bible reading. Me know so others probably are say it. But two them not bold like you. And me love your boldness. Them not bold like you for come drape me up and say, Trev, me that wait for you and me not see you. I appreciate you, Winsome. But Winsome, remember say me work a weekend. Every other weekend I work Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday night. Right. So I do the reading Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, every other week. The only morning, as I told you before, Winsome, the only morning that I come here every single week is Wednesday. Wednesday mornings is the only morning that has never changed because I don't work Tuesday nights, so I'm always here on a Wednesday morning, always. So, Osh, I'm sorry, but I give you the schedule for the rest of the reading, Winsome. Yeah, I give you the schedule for the next 7 days. How that sound? Does that sound good? Sister Amazing M&G says I can't catch every morning because most times I get up late and I have to rush to get. Yes, I understand, my love. I know. Sometimes I come here in the mornings, and I'm me alone. But you know, say that no bother me. It no bother me one bit because this journey is actually my journey that I'm sharing with you. So even if I come here and it's me alone, I'm still here. You know what I mean? But Sister Winsome does have a point. So I'm going to give you your desire, ma'am. I'm going to put out the schedule for the next week as to when I'm going to be reading the Bible. Okay? Okay. Say, okay, Miss Winsome. All right, ma'am. But anyway, guys, that is where we're going to end the reading for this morning. That's where we're going to end this live for right now. When we come back later on, different business, different things. All right, that's going to be the end of our live for this morning. Thanks everybody who came in. Thanks for the loves. Thank you for the likes. I sincerely appreciate you all on the tube, on the talk. I appreciate you all so much. Until next time, my friends, this is Trev from Trevessence, where your journey matters. Have yourselves a great day, everybody. Lady Lace and Wendy and everybody else. Have yourselves a great day. My darling M and G, my sweet sister Winsome. Be safe, guys, and I will see you all in a little bit. All right? Have a good one. Winsome, I'll see you later. I'm going to come back on the live. I'm going to come back live later on. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to come back later on, Winsome. I just got to get this here done. Okay?